This is why I'm shutting down my seven-figure agency and moving to a brand new opportunity that is going to crush it in the marketplace. So, for context, my agency does about 100K per month in profit, but I think there is something even better in the waters, and I'm willing to hedge all of my bets and close my entire agency down. Now, this is actually something that Alex Hormozy himself has personally invested in, as well as basically every single other SMMA guru in the entire marketplace. So, let me first explain to you the old way of running an agency, right? So that would be number one, it's very, very difficult to set appointments. Number two, it's difficult to close clients. Number three, it's very tough to get your client results. Then it's very hard to actually retain your clients and make sure that they keep paying you every single month. It's also very hard to manage their continuous communication. It's also very hard to be unique when there are basically thousands, if not millions, of agency owners competing for the same type of customers. And on top of that, because competition is so fierce, it's very, very difficult to scale an agency in 2024, right? And so, in other words, the old SMMA way is basically dying. And so, this is what I believe to be the brand new method that can take you from zero to 10K to 50K to 100K to even $1 million a month in pure profit in the shortest time possible. And this is what also all the other gurus are not sharing with you. And so, with this new method, you basically don't need to set any more appointments. It's dead easy to close clients without taking any sales calls. So, you don't even have to jump on a sales call. Imagine that. And it's also very, very easy to get your client results, which requires basically zero fulfillment and time on your end, meaning you don't even actually need to do anything to deliver the results. And it's also very easy to retain your clients for 1, 2, 3 years down the line without having to constantly call them to try and renew their service. And on top of that, communication is very, very easy. You don't need to have to speak to every single client that you onboard. And it's also very easy and fast to scale, but more importantly, you can make a bigger and more positive impact building this new method of an agency model. And what this actually is, or well, what I call it, is the new LTO agency, which basically stands for the low ticket offer agency. And I truly believe that this new way of doing things will create multi-millionaires in the next few months, but also a few very short years. And so you're probably wondering, well, that sounds all good, but how do I actually build an LTO? And how do I move away from my dying old SMMA and basically get no results and just struggle to book appointments and struggle to close clients? Well, I'm going to break down the exact steps on how you can build your own LTO agency and get to your first 10K per month very, very quickly, or scale your current agency to 20, 50, 100, 200K per month by implementing the LTO framework into your agency. So the great thing about this is if you already run an existing agency and you want to keep that going, you can actually implement this into your current business and 10 times your growth. Or alternatively, if you're looking to start a business model and don't want to have to deal with the stress of running a standard agency, this will also work well for you as well. And so this is how you build the new agency. So step number one is you need to pick a niche. Now, this isn't going to be your typical exercise where you go after dentists, chiros, and gyms. You can, by all means, and we've also collected a free niche guide. And so if you want this guide, just drop a comment down below or just drop me a DM. And we basically compiled all the most profitable niches that you can go after to build your LTO agency. But ask yourself a question: what are you actually passionate about? And if you already run an agency or you have an idea of what type of business you want to start, think to yourself, in that business, if you could do one thing, what would you do? Would it be sales? Would it be communication? Would it be client delivery? Would it be managing your taxes? Or, for example, with your current agency slash business, what are you doing well that other people can benefit? So think of your current situation, really figure out what are you doing very, very well that could benefit others, or alternatively, if you could only do one thing in your future business, what would that be? And whatever that answer is, you want to make sure that you really believe that whatever you choose, you can do better than most people, right? So, for example, step number two is equally as important, which is picking the right niche. It's very, very important that when you build your LTO, you cannot work with everyone. So simply pick one niche and pick one problem. For example, let's say you have an agency that goes after dentists, right? And let's say within your dentist agency, you know how to get your dentist clients some of the best results, right? So that would be your niche, helping marketing agencies get their dental clients better results. So you can see I'm moving away from the traditional, hey, we go after dentists and help them get more leads. Now you're servicing a very small position of the marketplace, which is unique to you, helping agencies who go after dentists get their clients more results. And so if you compare the difference between dental leads and that niche, right, the competition is much less fierce, and you'll have an easier time scaling, right? And so ultimately, one thing to remember with picking a niche is pick one thing that you are good at and transform it into a problem. So, like I said in the example, you can get your dentist clients fantastic results, right? So you could help agencies who don't get their dental client good results, help them get good results. Or, for example, let's say within your company, you're good at sales, you get a very high close rate. Let's say that's your sort of positive impact of whatever that you do. Now, if you were to transform that into a problem, you could say, okay, I help marketing agencies increase their close rates with my system. So again, it doesn't have to be marketing agencies. It could be whatever niche that you choose in, but simply pick one thing that you are good at and transform it into a problem, because I can guarantee you that there are a lot of people who actually have that problem that you do very, very well. Now, for myself, this would be my offer. So, for example, myself personally, I book around 300 plus qualified calls for my agency every single month. That's my positive. So, my negative would be I help people who are struggling to book calls fill their calendar with qualified sales calls. So, I basically transformed my positive aspect into a negative problem, and I built a solution. And so that's how you should be looking at a niche, not just picking some random generic service that's highly competitive. So once you've picked your niche and you've picked the right one, step number three is you want to start posting content. Now, start posting on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, which is basically called X now, about how you can help people with this problem. You want to basically give information for free, targeting your potential clients. And obviously, don't just post random pieces of content, make it very, very specific to your pain point and to your problem, right? And because you pick this problem and it's a problem that you own rather than just a generic niche, you'll actually end up talking about something that you are genuinely passionate about, which makes your life easier recording content. And then you can slowly introduce your product and solution into the marketplace. So again, we're not just posting for the sake of posting content. You're posting what you genuinely enjoy that can bring real value to the marketplace and isn't just copy and paste from every single other agency in the marketplace. So start posting on YouTube weekly, start posting on Instagram, and start flooding your socials with who you are, what you do, and give until you build that some sort of audience within your socials. And obviously, don't stop posting content. And so step number four is very, very important. And you can probably just do this now alongside of posting content, is building a value ladder. And I think this is probably the thing that you have to understand the most, because if I'm not mistaken, most of you are probably already selling some sort of high ticket offer that can be priced at anywhere between $3,000 to $15,000. But the problem is, in the marketplace, people don't trust you enough to pay you, right? Because one of the biggest objections on a sales call is the price is too high, or you have no social proof and you have no result. And so consumers are getting a lot smarter, and you need to have way more social proof and actually real results than ever before. And so how do you actually combat How do you get someone to pay you 15,000 upfront without having to basically sell your soul, right? And so ultimately, just because someone won't buy your high ticket offer, it doesn't mean that they won't be willing to buy something else for you. Because at the end of the day, these guys have a problem. They will need to solve that problem regardless if that's with you or if it's with someone else. And so, you may as well learn to build a value ladder to get them to trust you enough to pay you to your high ticket level. And what I mean by that is rather than start at say three, four, five, $10,000, build an entry low ticket offer, something that you can price very, very low, but you know that has massive value and can deliver very, very easily, right? And you can price this as low as $7 and as high as $47. Again, this is not a full blown service, it's just one thing, one low ticket offer that addresses one small pain point that your clients may have that you can easily just deliver and won't require any of your time to do. Now, you will need to think and really break down the problems of your clients and figure out, okay, what could I price at $27 that could provide so much value and help my client fix a small problem? Once you figure that out, you're much more likely to charge them 15 grand than if you didn't have a low ticket offer and they didn't trust you and so on and so forth, right? But the great thing is, when you have a low ticket offer, you don't need to jump from charging $7 to $47 all the way up to 15,000. Once they purchase that and they're happy, statistically speaking, most people want to buy more, right? If it's worth absorbing on their side, you can then sell them an MTO, which is basically a mid-ticket offer. And again, what you want to do is you want to figure out the problems that your clients have and give them the solution. So problem number two could be priced at $49 to $97, and you do the same thing. You build something small to medium size that you can give to your clients that helps them solve an actual problem and gives them that value, right? Now they've gone from being a cold stranger, spending $0 with you. They spend anywhere between $7 to $47. So they now trust you to a certain degree. They've now purchased your mid-ticket offer. So they've now spent a higher price tag of $49 to $97. So now their trust factor has gone up by basically 10 times. And you can basically repeat this entire cycle until your HTO, which is your high ticket offer, until you get to your high ticket offer, right? And so that way, if you can see the difference, you're building a value ladder that slowly takes you towards your actual main offer. And to be honest, you don't need to have like 5, 10 different pricing packages. You can have 2 to 4 to start with, and you'll see much higher conversion rates. You'll be able to close every single lead on your sales call rather than just mark them as non-qualified and waste your time and money acquiring that lead. You can actually do something with the marketing and with your prospecting that you do on the back end. So this is why I think in terms of cash flow, in terms of scalability, in terms of onboarding clients, it's going to be the easiest and fastest ways to either grow a business or scale your current high ticket business. And so once you've built that value ladder, you then need to learn how to run ads, because the great thing is with a low ticket offer, you don't need to take any sales calls, right? So there's no like jump on a sales call, speak to them for an hour, show them some fancy slide deck. It's not the case. You run ads to a landing page and they can buy directly on that landing page. That is the power of an LTO agency, right? So you don't need salespeople. You can basically outsource the entire thing. So in other words, learn how to run paid ads. I think I've done a previous video about this, but I will do another one in the near future. And I've also covered these 3 steps in a previous video, but it's always good to remind you guys that step number 6 is don't get fancy. So when you start getting your first LTOs and your first upsells, you need to basically prioritize your income generating activity. So don't stop running ads, learn how to make your product even better, gain feedback, reiterate, and do the same thing again, right? Because what you want to do is you don't want to rely on marketing to get yourself clients. You want to make your product or service so good that your clients do the selling for you, right? And so prioritize IGA, so income generating activities, and always, always look for feedback, reiterate your product, and continue to actually run ads. And please make sure that you have a very, very sort of efficient upselling system, because if you bring someone in for $7 and they don't upsell, you're losing a lot of money on the table, right? So that's just one part of the equation. You've got to make sure that you have a very solid way of upselling them into the actual main high ticket offer. And then step seven and step eight is all about innovating and scaling slowly, right? So you can always build multiple different offers. You can solve multiple different problems for one, market segment. And so you don't need to stick to kind of one high ticket offer. You can actually enjoy solving multiple different problems that all channel into one big offer. And eventually, you'll get to a place where you're solving six different offers for your clients. So it's unreasonable for them not to actually join your $10,000 to $15,000 higher ticket program and scale that way. So all you are doing is building the right foundations from day one. You're solving the problems, you're building an asset, and you're building an actual a cash printing machine. And so that in a nutshell is basically an LTO. And we are about to release an entire training program that basically builds your entire LTO for you. So we build your offer, we select your niche, we build the landing pages, the upsells, we do it all for you. So you can either grow your existing high ticket business or you can scale a brand new company very, very quickly without needing to do any of these things and running a typical SMMA. And so if this sounds interesting to you, then drop a comment below, drop me a DM on Instagram, and we'll go ahead and we'll send you the free training. Thanks.